Well, good morning. It's late in the morning on Friday, February 21st. I might also know that it's a very important birthday today for my daughter, Mallory Megan. Also very proud that she's a member of our profession. Moving on to the legislature. We have 3 weeks left. Wasn't horribly busy this week. But let me give you a brief update of where we're at. On Tuesday of this week in front of Senate Judiciary, we heard Senate Bill 128, which is the hate bill against gay folks, and that was defeated in committee 5-2 vote. So that bill is dead. Its companion is House Bill 1251, which was the House version. Both those, the bar commissioners voted to put on the kill list once again because they were unconstitutional in that they either attempted to direct our courts on how to handle claims, which they can set standards, but they can't order the courts to enter specific orders any more than our Supreme Court could enter an order saying to the legislators, don't submit stupid bills. In any event, that was heard, 1251 was heard on Wednesday evening. It's one of the rare evening meetings that that the legislature holds. And there's a reason why we work so late on Wednesday night. They had a ton of bills that they wanted to hear because this morning in House State Affairs, they listened to the testimony, riveting testimony I might add, on the proposed, well, it's Bill 1183, which would repeal capital punishment prospectively. In other words, those who are on death row currently would not benefit from the bill. Riveting testimony. I'll come back to that in a minute. In any event, so we went late on Wednesday night. 1251 was the House version of the anti-gay bill with similar unconstitutional provisions in it. The House State Affairs voted 12-0 to defer it to the 41st day. What's important for you to know is that there aren't 41 legislative days, ergo deferring it to the 41st day where there isn't any is essentially a way to kill the bill. Now, there's a rule called 5-17, and we call that affectionately the smokeout rule. And if proponents of a certain bill lose in committee, if they can get a third of the House or the Senate, depending on where the bill is, to support them, then then that body, the House in this case, requires the committee to send that bill down to the floor for a floor debate. The proponents of 1251 tried that on Thursday. They needed a third of the House to support them, which is 24 votes. They only got 5. So 1251 was rather powerfully killed for good. So those are two that were on our kill list. Senate Bill 133, again, was a bill to restrict municipalities and other subdivisions of government from adopting ordinances that were more restrictive of gun rights than state law. Our opposition to that came from one of the provisions, because we don't do guns unless it's guns in our courtrooms, which we don't want. That was 1066, which was we defeated, and I talked about that several weeks ago. But that 133 included a provision, and it was an unconstitutional provision, that would forbid and make it a crime for any federal agents to attempt to enforce gun laws which are more restrictive than our state law. Clearly the Supremacy Clause says that they can't do that, and so our opposition was there. That bill is also dead. 148 would establish a new standard of evidence in the civil side of parent-children law, Chin-Acts and so forth. That one is on the kill list and is dead. 1083 was the limiting conservancy easements to 99 years. That was on our kill list. That is also dead. 1253 was on our kill list also, and that had to do with, again, unconstitutional restrictions on the federal government enforcing its gun laws versus the state's law, and that is likewise dead. So all the bills that are on our kill list as adopted by the bar commissioners have been killed as of this week. Senate Bill 74, as you know, is our shared parenting bill, which has already gone through unanimously in the Senate. That is scheduled. I polished off my crystal ball, and although it's not posted yet, that will be heard in House Judiciary next Wednesday, the 26th of February. Our other bill, House Bill 1077, which is the Uniform Law on Transfer on Death Deed Bill, and that has been scheduled or will be posted soon, if not already, and that will be heard next Tuesday in Senate Judiciary. I might add a couple others. House Bill 1125, which is a bill to repeal obsolete judicial remedies. That's scheduled for next week. We're supporting that. The repeal of obsolete provisions regarding family law, we're supporting that, and that probably will be heard next Thursday. By way of just a heads up, House Bill 1127, which provides for an exemption for alimony payments in debtor filings, and I'm assuming that's primarily bankruptcy, but because, as you may recall, exemptions under the federal bankruptcy law, the bankruptcy judge refers back to state law. And as drafted, that's just on our watch list. We weren't taking a position on it, but we were watching it carefully. And that came out of committee, went down to the House floor, and the House floor determined that there ought to be a cap on it, and they capped it at $1,000, I assume, per month. And so that's just a heads up. I'm not sure what the Senate's going to do with it. The bar commissioners haven't given me any marching orders to support it or defeat it, but it's a heads up for those of you who do family law and or bankruptcy law. The last thing I want to talk about briefly, and we did, as you know, we don't take positions on abortion. We don't take positions typically on gun rights. Nuclear disarmament is one that we don't do. And capital punishment is one that we have never taken a position on. I sat through 2 hours of testimony, both proponents and opponents, and listened to it because it's worthy, particularly if you're a lawyer or judge, it's worthy of listening to something that's that important to we as a state and we as a profession. The testimony was riveting, compelling, both sides. And that, it was deferred to the 41st day on a 7-6 vote, very close. I look for the proponents of that bill to smoke it out or use 517 probably this afternoon, because this is the last day they can do it, so that they can have a full debate and public discussion of capital punishment. And if you have some time this weekend, it was heard in State Affairs this morning, and you can go to the LRC website and you can pull up the capital punishment bill. It's the only bill that was heard this morning, and listen to the testimony. And like I said, it was very emotional, very compelling, both sides, and I suspect that they will use that 517 this afternoon, so that there'll be a debate on the floor next week. And with that, I guess I'll see you in a week, and we'll be able to report on the shared parenting and the Uniform Law and Transfer on Death Deed Bill. Have a great weekend.